your flesh and blood.
Welcome to Tell Me Your Story, new paradigms for a new world where we're giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. We are here 9 times a week, Sundays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., Monday mornings at 1 a.m., Wednesdays at 9 a.m., and Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m., streaming live at all those times at richarddugan.com. We are on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, as well as YouTube, where you can watch these conversations. I hope that you will take time to subscribe and click notifications so that when a new conversation is posted, you'll be notified and you'll be able to tune in, listen in, and learn, be entertained and inspired. A reminder that Choices, which is my book, 5 Steps for Life, it's available on Amazon.com in paperback, hardcover, and Kindle with Audible, soon to be released. We also ask that if you can support the work that we are doing financially, we do have a PayPal account. It is there for your security as well as ours. And when they ask for an email address to whom you're sending, please go to richard@richarddugan.com. That's the email address. If you go to richarddugan.com, there is also a link directly to PayPal so that you can send us whatever support you can. And we thank you to those who have helped and to those who will help. We also ask that you take time during this decade of perfect vision, the 2020s, to go within to that quiet, peaceful, calm, still place and listen to that still, small voice. And with that, we now take you to our very special interview and guest here on Tell Me Your Story. And welcome to Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. I am Reverend Dr. D. Richard Dugan, and I have a very special guest on the program. He's returning. That's right. Henry
Yes.
Quense is my guest. And thank you so much for being with us again. This is this is going to be fun.
Yes, it is. And thanks for having me again. I've had fun the last couple of times we were here.
I'll tell you, you give your books very interesting titles. And I love this because it sort of speaks to where a lot of people are today. Okay. This is kind of how they are feeling. All right. And maybe there's a correlation there, and we'll find out. His book, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, his latest work is Character Revolt. First of all, where'd you come up with that particular title? It's almost looking like a kid's book. Okay. But this is really fascinating. You've got a wildly inventive meta-fantasy character revolt. Talk to us. This is fiction, right?
Okay. Yeah, well, just a minute about the cover.
I see that.
Yeah,
and folks can see it because we have the book up between the two of us on the video.
Yeah. So, my cover guy has done all my books for maybe 15 years. You know, when I told him I was writing this crazy novel and I didn't know what to do with the cover, he just dug through all the old copies and picked all the characters that were on other covers and put them all on one. So I got a lot of dozens of characters in this book, and all the characters on the cover are in this book, which I thought was pretty cool. That's why it's a crazy cover, but I said, I got to take this. I love it.
You know, it's interesting. You raise this interesting statement here. Is you wonder why what your characters might be doing. This to me is fascinating. When you close your laptop, and that's an interesting scenario. And I have to wonder if maybe someone has approached you saying, you know, that would make a neat movie or cartoon theme. Like what would happen if, let's say, Disney, for example, did something like that? You know, the people writing the stories or drawing the character.
They're welcome to make an offer if they're interested.
Please do it, folks. I think it would be fascinating. But how did you come up with this concept of?
Well, I wrote science fiction and fantasy novels, and I always set them in a parallel universe. So, you know, they're away. And about 5 years ago, I had this crazy idea. I remember it happened around the holidays. I said, these characters are figments of my imagination in my world, but in the parallel universe, they're real. And then the next thought was, And they're all pissed at me because I've been writing nonfiction for the last 5 years, and they want more stories about themselves. That just triggered it, and it was this crazy idea. I tried to get rid of it, and I couldn't. I kept coming back to this idea, and it just I couldn't get rid of the idea. The only way I could get rid of it is to write the bloody book. But and that took me about 3 years because I kept getting tied up with it. It's really weird, and not the way I usually write. I'd get an ending, all right, what I thought might be the ending, and I start writing. I had a lot of fun writing about these characters, but what I was writing didn't match the ending. They would never meet up. So I stopped until I got another ending, which was about a year later, and started writing some more. I had some great fun writing some more stuff, but it wasn't in tune with the ending. So I didn't get the ending until the third time I started. And over time I'm building this stuff up, and I had more fun writing this book than any other book I had. This is, no holds barred. Everything is off. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just write whatever kind of nonsense like comes into my mind. I don't have to justify it. It was really fun.
Well, I'll tell you, I know that satire has been used to describe what you've put together. I actually love satire. One of my favorite satirists is the late Stan Freberg.
Yeah, I've heard that. I know the name.
Yeah. I mean, he's got stuff out there, and he was even accused of biting the hand that fed him because he went after the advertising community in one of his Christmas Christmas specials, or
Yeah.
pieces, and but at the same time, that's kind of what satire is about. I mean, I could certainly write some very interesting stories regarding my career, almost 50 years in the
Yeah.
making. But character revolt, which is characters behaving badly. And you folks can get a copy of that book. You can go to Amazon, of course, and type that in as well. You can also participate by going to, there's a YouTube video as well, but you can also go to Hank Quense, that's Quense. That's Hank Quense author.org. That's Hank
Yeah.
Quense author.org. IT's got in the way there. Um, is this the genre that you really, really enjoy putting together for people in terms of uh, um, giving them something to think about?
Yeah, I write bizarre, but I usually throw in some political satire or satire of some kind into the novels to well, I don't know, just it's the way I think, I guess, and as long as I'm doing this weird stuff, I might as well make a point now and then. Um, this one, the case was that a lot of the characters are figuring out how they can get to me in a parallel universe and get me to write stories. So I got these. One of the part of it is the Knights of the Round Table, and they swear off their quest for the Holy Grail and take a new quest to find me and make me write a story that will make them all filthy rich. And they're all going all over England and chasing around looking for me and trying to find out where I am so that they can get me to write new stories about them. It really a lot of fun. I just, no holds barred. I can do whatever I want.
Well, now
Unusual.
there is some truth to that, but you know as well as I do, in our how do I put this? In our rarefied, non-funny air here in the United States, you got to be careful because there are some people who can't take a joke.
That's true. There are a lot of people who can't take a joke, apparently, from the news stories.
I mean, you got to be careful or you're going to wind up on a list.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
They
just
won't let me on
amazing.
an airplane.
Well, yeah, I mean, good grief, it's like matter of fact, the thought that just came into my mind was of the one airline that just shut down. They filed bankruptcy, Spirit Airlines.
Yeah.
That's all that's left now is the spirit of Spirit Airlines.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
but and it's really unfortunate because there are so many people who can be they help to put uh, um, they help to put a nice spin on. I guess the saying I'm thinking of is, if you can't laugh at yourself, you have a real problem.
Yes, you do.
You
Probably
know?
going to get ulcers and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
really,
laughing
really,
at yourself lets off a lot of pressure.
yeah. Well, I know that I have foibles of my own, just like you would acknowledge you have yours. Has
Yeah.
anybody ever done any satire on you?
Um, Not that I know of. It's possible. I
Hmm.
do have satiric interviews with a fake reporter, where she mocks my books and says that I'm a terrible writer because I won't write literary fiction. But but it's mocking myself really. I write these interviews that make fun of me.
Hmm. I find I find it interesting that when I think about satire, but also having making fun, and at the same time, I had a situation a year ago this month. Very strange situation. Now, I never mentioned the names of the individuals or the company, but I got a phone call from one of the PR firms that I have dealt with for probably a couple of decades. They line up authors such as yourself.
Yeah,
And the phone call, I got the phone call, and the guy says, is this Richard Dugan? I said, yes, it is. He's, hold on, let me get Judy on the line. I'm thinking, okay. Now I recognized the gentleman's voice, so I know who I was talking to. The next thing I know, I'm on speakerphone, and the guy's reading me the riot act. I'm the worst, this, that, and the other thing. I am this and that and the other. I mean, and then of course there was the language that was being used. I'll use the word salty. Okay, a lot of profanity,
yeah,
and I tried to get a word in edgewise to say, well, try to find out, well, what is
yeah,
this all about? What are you, even to accuse me of looking creepy in that hat that I wear. And I'm sure you've seen the pictures of me somewhere
yeah,
wearing this cowboy hat, and it's my sort of my brand, if you will.
yeah. I
Well,
think
I
you
finally
were in
hung
one of
up.
our interviews.
Yeah, I finally hung up. I said, I don't need to put up with this.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
best thing to do.
well, then I start getting the emails. All right. And the same kinds of things are in the emails. Well, none of this really bothered me that much because I took the perspective, oh, this guy's having a bad day and he's just chosen me to be his punching bag.
Yeah,
So I get these emails, I look through them, blah, blah, blah. And I go in and I tell my wife what just happened. And she was in tears. Okay. She was crying because she says, I am so sorry that they spoke to you that way, and I'm sorry they hurt you. To which I said, and this goes to my point of satire. I said, I'm fine. That didn't bother me in the least because I don't own it. What this gentleman was saying in his verbals as well as in the emails, that's not me. I don't own it. I don't accept
yeah,
it. Put it that way,
yeah,
right? And in a way, that is the way that individuals must accept the satire, whether it's you or say Saturday Night Live.
yeah,
It, you know, and really, I would say I should be flattered if someone was to do See, that wasn't satire, that was abuse. But if
yeah,
someone were to satirize me, I would be flattered that they thought that much of me that they would waste or spend the time
yeah. Me
to
too.
do
Yeah,
that.
it's it means you're getting someplace.
Let's
You're
talk a
getting
little bit.
known.
Let's talk a little bit about this book of yours. A character
Yeah,
revolt. I beg your pardon.
yeah.
It's not a big book. I have it over here on my shelf, and it's fascinating. My wife got a real kick out of the cover. She really did. You got a great artist to put that together
I
for you.
do, I do.
Where did the idea when you first came up with the idea? Did it make sense to you that this this could really go somewhere? And could there be more volumes, more novels, more output from you in that regard?
When I first got it, I really didn't know. I had no idea what I would do with this thing. Usually, I get a story idea. I know where it's going pretty much, and I know how it's going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
This one was just off the wall. It was so off the wall, I had no idea what to do with it. But like I said, I couldn't get it out of my mind. I had to work on it. I had to figure it out, and it was very difficult figuring it out, and I had to handle it because it was so weird and so different. But eventually, I got it done.
Talk to us a little about some of the other works that you have available for folks to get a copy of through your book, your location, which is the Hank Quense author.org.
Well, that's just yeah, that's just my website, and all my books are on Amazon though. Uh, I think I got about 25 on there right now, 25 books that are available, fiction and nonfiction. I think nonfiction is probably more than half of them now. But yeah, the website has some interesting stuff on it, but the real good stuff is on my Amazon page, hankquense.com, Hank Quense.
It's interesting too that we've got, it's like people have talked to me over the years about, reading the classics, right?
Yeah.
Or what is determined to be the classics. I've got on my Audible, I have Ulysses. I started it, maybe went in 5 minutes, and then I had to pause it. It's almost like I'm going to have to put both earbuds in both ears and really focus on what's being done there. Would you consider any of the works that you have done, or do you think they might become classics in that sense? What are your thoughts?
Uh, I don't think I'm that good a writer that are going to be classics. No, I don't think so. I'd be happy to, but maybe they would. I don't know, but I'm not in a position to decide whether my books would be classics or not. Um, I think they would be funny, or people would laugh at them and get a kick out of them, say 30 or 40 years from now, because I don't think they're that linked, to a certain period of time where they become obsolete after a while. I think they would. I think they would have some legs, in time. But that's about as far as I can go with that question.
Okay. Well, we're talking with Henry Quense. Hank Quense author.org is the website you want to go to, and we'll continue our conversation with award-winning author Hank Quense here on Tell Me Your Story. Reverend Dr. D here with Henry Quense. And first of all, I want to ask you about your perspective when it comes to AI and its relevance or irrelevance to writing a book.
I use artificial intelligence every day, several times a day, not to write, but as a writing assistant. It is great for researching, much better than something like Google or Bing. It is way beyond what they can do. Um, if I get a weird idea, which I do quite frequently, I get a weird idea, the first thing I do is I put it into an AI and say, what can I do with this? Expand this. And it really does come up with some great ideas that, on how to expand my idea. And it tells me stuff that I never would have thought of on my own. I, I, I'm writing, I just finished, I had a draft of a book that I'm writing today. It's a short book, only about 20 pages. It's on scene design. I put it into an AI and I said, critique this. So I come back with one page. It's good stuff. You really like this. Like this came out nice. But that was followed by 5 pages or rip the book apart. The damn thing is a wonderful critique. I mean, it is great at critiquing stuff. No holds barred. It doesn't do any favors, and it is really, really good as critiquing stories and critiquing short parts of the book. I love it.
You know, it's interesting that you use it that way. I actually used AI once I got over the perceived fear. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
interviewed someone who used AI to write the first draft of their book. And from then on, it was all theirs. They took that piece of clay and they shaped it into the form that they wanted.
Hmm.
I have actually in 2026 used AI to assist in doing my 2025 taxes. And you
Okay.
go, well, okay, but what if you're audited? I said, it's all on me. I can't take AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Blame
To
the
go.
AI.
Okay. It was more, okay, I'm on line so and so, and it says this. What am I supposed to put there? You
Yeah.
know? So then it reads me from the instructions. And then I might ask for clarification. Can you clarify what that means? Or, and so on and so forth. And I actually filled out the form for example, California State,
Yeah.
and I ended up getting back double what I was expecting because I had changed some numbers, even though AI said that no, you're good to go. Go ahead and send it. Well, it's nice that the franchise tax board is so gracious in inspecting my tax form and giving
Yeah.
me what I'm due. Uh,
Yeah.
I am also using AI to ask all kinds of questions. I
I
even
do that
asked,
too.
the controversy over these data storage places that
Yeah.
supposedly
Yeah.
use a lot of electricity
And
and generate
water.
a lot of heat, right?
Yeah.
And I even asked the question, has anybody asked AI how to solve this problem of reducing the heat and reducing the amount of electricity needed? And apparently, no one has bothered to ask the very thing that they're trying to build this for. Of course, I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out why they need these giant data storage places
Yeah.
for this. What's wrong with the existing setup the way that it is?
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
interesting. We're
Yeah.
talking with Hank. Go ahead.
Yeah. I used AI recently. I came across this uh, software program that sounded interesting to me. It was from a small Dutch company. And I started to get into it, and it was very awkward to use. The interface wasn't very good,
Mm-hmm.
and there wasn't a lot of help screens. So I started asking the AI, how do I do this with this program? And I asked it 3 or 4 times, and finally, I guess I got tired of asking me, answering me. And he said, "You want me to put together a guide for this AI app, or rather, for the software program?" And I said, "Yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out." They come back with a 19-page guide on how to use this freaking program. It was amazing. It even had screenshots in it.
Now, the question though is, was it helpful for you?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, it was. It answered all the questions I had. And at the used it, I decided that, well, no, I don't like this program.
hmm.
It's too
I
complicated.
yeah.
But I was amazed that this thing wrote this guide.
Well, I have a friend who wrote a children's book, and he had a book signing and a book reading at the Chaucer's bookstore in Santa Barbara, and they videoed it, they recorded it,
Uh-huh.
and he says, "Could you kind of clean this up a little bit, do this, that, and the other thing?" Sure, send it to me. So I got it all put together in terms of in the editor, and I'm starting to look at it and so forth, and I'm going, "You said that the gal who read it did not want to be seen reading it." I said, oh. He says, "Yeah. Can you send me a PDF of the book, or can you send me the pictures? Maybe you've got just the images from each page."
Yeah.
So he sent me a PDF. Well, I spent about a half hour with AI trying to find a program that I could use that would convert each page of the PDF, which was each page of the book, both the
Yeah.
words and the pictures, into individual images. And I went through installing 3 different programs that had limitations unless I paid for it,
Mm-hmm.
until I found one that took the entire 54 pages, converted it into 54 images or pictures that I can now put into the video, because my video does not allow for PDFs. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know that you can pull a
Yeah.
video into a PDF or PDF into a video. So now I'm all ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'll play the video, and then when it gets to that page, I'll put it in there over the existing video so that people will see that. Have a nice, fun transition from one to the next as she reads. And it's not a long book. I think
Yeah.
it took maybe 10 or 15 minutes to read, but
Yeah.
she read it nice and slowly. And so AI is instrumental in that regard. And I think here's where people get scared. They think it's going to become sentient. It's going to have a conscience, if you will, or
Yeah.
consciousness.
Yeah.
And I look at it as a tool. It's no different than a hammer, except
It
that
is. That's exactly right.
I'm going to say that it's a little more personal.
Yes.
I have conversations with it. I at one point I even can I give you a name? And it let me
I
give it a name.
I have an AI agent. It's called Archimedes.
Arca. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, called Archie.
I like
We
that.
have Archie and I have conversations. He'll answer a question and a response. I give him a query. He goes through it. He does all of the stuff, and then again at the bottom he says, "Do you want me to do?" And he has 3 or 4 questions, and on how he can expand this and do stuff. I say, "Yeah, do this one. Do not do item number 2." But it's great.
That is very cool. I think that people need to learn how to better deal with these kinds of things, because quite honestly, life is going to get better over time. We
Yeah,
just have to allow that to be. And what's going to get better, of course, is the work that you're putting out as we both use AI. I might even consider the possibility of using AI to assist me. One of my favorite things is to write stories based upon a picture. I took photography class in college, and I have
uh-huh.
a bunch of photographs that I took on 8x10s.
Yeah,
Now I have to get a scanner before I can do this. Have it write a story, and then I would go in and I would again take that clay and I would mold it into the shape that I want.
right.
Uh, that's one book. There's another one I want to put together of a bunch of pictures that I've taken over the years of Phoenix, and where I grew up, where I was born and raised, and so forth. Um, so there's just so many things that we can do. What we can also do is tell you. This is Tell Me Your Story. I'm Reverend Dr. D. He is Henry Quense, and this is the program that gives you new paradigms for a new world. Satire, that's one of the areas. AI is another area. Imagine a cast of wildly rebellious book characters tired of plot droughts. Oh my goodness. As
Yes.
well as extraneous being in existential limbo. That seems to, I'm surprised that that wasn't the word of the year for 2025. Everybody was using the word existential.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it's
right.
overused, right?
A little over. It's kind of like years ago, quantum. They put everything,
Yeah,
for example, you could have written your book. It could have been the quantum character revel.
that's true. Yes. I have to
Um,
add, since we're talking about AI, I have to add, AI did not help me with this book. All mine.
well,
Uh,
that's the beauty. Your imagination, as accessible to all of the information on the planet as AI
yeah,
might have, I don't think there's anything that can actually replace the imagination of a human being. Your
I don't
thoughts?
either. I think AI would have a hell of a time trying to come up with what I did with this book, to duplicate it or,
Mhm.
be as weird as, and off the wall as I was.
What is the thing that really excites you in terms of writing? I mean, I was looking at the series of books. You've got a lot of them up there on the website. I was looking at the different books. Matter of fact, I saw one. I kind of wanted to touch on this one too. Mind mapping a novel, infographic guide to mind mapping a novel, which is kind of what we're talking about, learning how to mind map a novel. Talk, first of all, talk to us about that concept and then are there steps? Because a lot of us, we have these stories that we've had in our heads for so long, and we never thought anybody would be interested, but but you're never going to know until you
That's right. You got
write
to
it
test it.
down.
You got to test the waters. You got to try it out. I love to see information presented graphically. I don't like lists. I don't like tables. I want to see a picture of the information, such as you get with a mind map or a concept map. And quite a while ago back, I started mind mapping a story, a novel, and I found that it is really worse because the novels have a couple of problems. A long novel, for instance, you get a character. He's a grumpy old man. As he starts off as a grumpy old man, he's supposed to be a grumpy old man all through the book. But it's pretty natural that towards the middle of the book, he mellows out. He's not grumpy.
Hmm.
But maybe he gets grumpy back at the end, but you got this part in the middle where he doesn't fit the character.
Yeah.
Try and find that and try and change that. That is tough, really tough. Well, where did this guy change? So what I do is I mind map the characters, the big characters of some characteristics, and I have it in front of me so that I know exactly what this character is supposed to be doing when I'm writing him. And I end up with a graphical synopsis of the entire story, and I write the story from that graphical picture of what I should be doing. I'm a big fan of mind mapping novels. I know the
What
stuff.
what's the process? Can you give us a couple of steps to get started? If we got this idea and we want to write a novel, and okay, let's stay away from trying to write the great American novel. Okay, let's just write the story that we have in our heads.
Yeah. Well, for a novel, I make three mind maps. One is for the characters, and for each main character, I'll have several things like, what's the dominant reader emotion I want? What's this guy's flaw? Some other stuff like that that I have to keep in front of me when I'm writing a scene. And I also write another mind map with the plot. What events happen in Act One? What happens in Act Two? That way, and then I take those two of those and I build a synopsis for the entire story on what happens every step of the way through the story. It's a picture. It's a
Mm-hmm.
picture of the story. And if you print it, the synopsis will probably take 3 or 4 pages to print out. You got to tape them together, But I find it invaluable to be able to look at this picture and see where I'm supposed to be in developing this first draft.
Hmm. So you want to do one for character, one for the plot, and then maybe
Yeah,
one for the environment.
yeah.
Okay.
I need the first two to get to the third one, though.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting because you don't want grumpy old man, for example, dealing with his neighbors bringing their animals and pooping on his yard, and this is taking place on the moon. It's not
Yeah.
going to work too well.
No, you can't have this grumpy old man inviting everyone in to have a couple beers either.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Are you into things that are a little bit more on the fun side, or you into drama, murder mystery, suspense thrillers? What's your favorite genre in that regard?
Humor.
Humor.
Humor books. Yeah. Blazing Saddles. The Monty Python's Holy Grail. I really love that kind of stuff. That's I don't go too much for the drama or the other stuff.
Hmm. There was a movie that came out with Tom Hanks when you mentioned Grumpy Old Man, and he was living alone. His wife had since passed, and he was living in what looked like a sort of an apartment complex, single level apartment complex, and all these people were living around him, and he was sort of getting his apartment in order because he was going to basically off himself.
Mhm.
But every time he turned around, somebody needed help, and he would help them. He was annoyed, he was cranky, and
Yeah.
so forth, but he still helped them, to the point where, this one young kid who got thrown out because he was gay and he'd come out to his parents and they threw him out. And so he helped him out. And there was even a scene where he would actually have uh, he had a table underneath a light fixture, had a chair on the table, and he had a noose hanging down from the light fixture. And he was sitting up there ready to put the noose, and the doorbell rang. And so he gets down, he goes, answers the door, and somebody needs some help. And what does he do? He helps them. And of course he never does off himself.
Yeah.
But he helps this couple next door to him whose the wife is pregnant to get to the hospital. And then, I mean, it was just, but it's like he maintained his grumpiness, or at least his gruffness. It did mellow a little bit as you go through the movie.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember the name. I think his name was Otto. The character's name was Otto.
It was something like that. It was a Scandinavian
Yeah.
version. It wasn't Otto. It was something like that. It was similar to Otto.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I think I read the book.
Yeah. Oh,
No, I
wow.
read the book.
But it was a wonderful film. It really was. And I I'm 66 this year. I'll be 66 on the 26th of June. And I had this conversation with my mother, who will be 92 this year. My father's since passed 3 years ago. And we were talking, and I said, it's weird how every time I think about how I'm going to be 66 in this year, it's like hard for me to believe. She says, well, how do you think I feel? I'm going to be 92.
It
But
feels the same way.
she
66,
is
92,
having,
it's the same.
yeah. And she's having the time of her life. Oh, she is just, when I get on the phone with her, when I can tell that she is enjoying herself, because the strength in her voice and the happiness, the joy that comes out.
Yeah.
We're all going down that same path. I mean, we come into this world going down that path.
Yeah.
Do you believe that, as Reader's Digest has told us over the decades, that laughter is indeed the best medicine?
Yeah, I do. I think it has a lot of beneficial, it's good. It's good to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt, that's for sure.
Now, you have an illustrator.
I have a
right?
cover artist. I have a cover artist.
Cover
That's all he
artist.
does. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to draw your own?
I can't draw a decent stick figure. So no, I haven't tried.
When did you start writing, by the way?
In the last century.
Okay. And were you using longhand, typewriter, keyboard on a computer?
I just, when I was 50 years old, I decided sooner or later they're going to kick me out of my job at AT&T. So I decided I was going to be a writer, and I was commuting from New Jersey to Manhattan on a bus, and I started writing on a bus in a notebook. I know during the commute, I started writing scenes, or what I thought was scenes. It's interesting. You'd be writing and suddenly you hit a pothole and you rip the page. But that's that's life.
Yeah.
You got to put up with this stuff. But that's how I started. I started writing scenes on a bus trip to Manhattan.
Do you remember the first one?
My first story?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I refuse to acknowledge that I wrote it. It was so bad. As bad as the story was, the magazine that was in it was even worse.
Oh.
It was mimeographed, and it had a hand-drawn cover and stapled, two staples on the side. It was terrible. But I got $10 for it.
It's funny because I was going through some. My wife and I just moved into our house. We bought a house back in October of last year here in Twin Peaks, next to Lake Arrowhead, and I'm going through the file drawers because I didn't have a chance to go through them before we moved to eliminate a lot of the paperweight.
Yeah.
I came across why I kept it. I do not have, for the life of me, I don't know, but I did. And I was a paper boy in 8th grade and all the way through high school.
Wow.
And we had a class. I can't remember the name of the class. I'll have to find it again. Anyway, they wanted me to, I wanted to create sort of a manual for being a paper boy. Now, we didn't get any, you were just trained on the job, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so I created this typewritten book, 8.5 by 11, stapled with the 2 or 3 or 4 staples on the side. But instead of like today, you'd copy and paste the clip art or the pictures and all this
Yeah.
kind of thing. I have taped onto certain pages where, for example, you had these collection cards. You had the name of the customer and the address and everything at the
Yeah.
top,
When they paid and all.
right? Well, actually, it was a little coupons, a little square little things you tore off and you gave to the customer when they paid. And I put that in there. I put other pictures and so on and so forth. And I thought, I can't, first of all, I couldn't believe it, what good a condition it was in, because remember, I'm 66. That was in my
Yeah.
teens, from 12
Yeah.
to 18 or 16 or what have you, or whatever the age was. And so we're talking almost 50 years. And there it is. And I'm looking through this thing going, boy, I missed that job, because that was one of my favorite jobs over the years. I've told people, I said, look, if that job still existed in the form that it was back when I was a teenager, I'd go back and do it because I loved it. You had your own hours for the most part, and you met all
Mhm.
kinds of neat people, kind of like now when I meet
Yeah.
all kinds of neat people like you.
Yeah.
Was there a favorite job that you've had over the years? You said you worked for AT&T for a time.
Yeah, I was a sales manager and a sales rep for probably 20 years. Sold telecommunications equipment. I like doing it. That was a fun job.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that was your favorite, or is what you do now, writing, your favorite?
I prefer writing.
Mm.
Actually, no, after I was writing for a few years, after I left AT&T, I realized that I had been writing fiction for years and years before I actually started.
Mm-hmm.
Except at AT&T, we used to call them sales plans. But they were just as fictitious as anything I write now. Just write down what the staff wants that. Okay, I'll tell the staff what they want. Then you go off and you do your own thing, you know?
Ha-
But
have you ever done stand up?
no,
No.
no,
You ought to
no,
consider it. You're a funny
no.
guy. Seriously,
Thank you.
you're a funny guy. There's
No,
this.
I'll do my fun stuff writing, not talking.
There you go. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I love this one guy. He's a much older gentleman than probably either of us. He's sitting there up on stage on a stool, holding on to the mic stand on one side. He's got the mic in the other, and he says that yeah, I went into an antique store and they wouldn't let me leave. I went to and I was looking for a girlfriend, some a partner, what have you. So I tried all these other apps, and I finally found one called Carbon Dating. And it's just he just goes on and on about and he's got to be in his 80s, right? He says, "Oh, and I just yesterday I just paid off my student loan."
Yeah. A little satire there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're talking with Henry, and we're talking with him about his work and the things that he does. What about relationships, marriage, children, et cetera, et cetera? How's that played into your life?
Well, I got 2 daughters and 5 grandkids, and they all live around me. And we're all going to have dinner on Friday night. My wife passed away about 3 years ago at Christmas time, well, 3.5 years.
Mm.
But we're a very close-knit family. I see them quite a lot. Um, every morning I get up and I text my I send a text message to my 2 daughters to let them know I'm still around.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I live by myself. I said, how the hell would they know if I check out? So
Exactly.
so then we decided to do that. I
Well,
sent him a message.
well, that's not a bad thing to
Well,
do.
I got to tell you, I usually type hello. Autocorrect one day changed that to help. So my daughter started calling me and said, what do you need help?
Yeah, I'm still dealing with that because I sent a text to someone and they texted me back saying, I don't have a clue as to what you're talking about. You might want to check your autocorrect. And then I went back and read what I sent. I'm going, yeah, that's correct. My autocorrect went to kerflooey, and then it
Yes.
autocorrected that. I can't remember what it said for kerflooey.
Yeah.
But now I try to scroll through it before I hit send, so that
Yeah.
they know what I'm talking about.
That doesn't work with me. I'm a speed reader, and I don't read what's on the page. I read what should have been there. I'm a terrible editor. I can't edit my own stuff. Because I make a mistake and I just roll right over it because I interpret what should have been there.
Yeah.
So, even my text, I can't do those too because I wouldn't notice the mistakes.
Hmm. Hank Quense is my guest. I'm Reverend Dr. D. Richard Dugan. This is Tell Me Your Story. We are in a conversation here with Hank Quense. Henry, I want to ask you about what inspires you to write the funny, to write the satirical.
I don't think there's anything that inspires me. I just get ideas. I just get ideas and I follow the ideas and they lead to funny stories. I just follow them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way my mind works.
Mm.
I don't want to change it. I want to keep it the way it is. But that's like this book I just I just published it about my characters. I just said this character and I just write. And what comes out is often surprises me. It often surprises the characters too. But we work on it. It's fun. That's my one condition to writing a story is it has to be fun to write. If the story isn't fun, I stop writing it.
Well, I tell you what, that would go a long way as far as things that I watch. I'm not a fan of drama and those kinds of things. Don't like the FBI and the
Yeah.
police dramas of today and so forth. I myself, I like the cartoons. I grew up with Warner Brothers and so forth,
Yeah,
Hanna-Barbera.
so did I. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny and
Yeah.
all those guys. Yeah,
And I love Rocky and Bullwinkle, and then the
yeah,
surrounding
Roadrunner.
little ones, Fractured
Yeah,
Fairy Tales,
yeah.
you know. And today, the ones that I enjoy watching, Bob's Burger, American Dad, Family Guy, Futurama, and some of the others. Now, with Family Guy, American Dad, and even Bob's Burger, first of all, I know going in, they're stupid. They're just stupid,
Mhm.
but they make me laugh. So it's not so stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's their flaw. The comic characters have to have a flaw. These guys' flaw is they're stupid. It works.
Yeah, Family Guy, Peter Griffin has no filter, none whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
It just comes out however it comes out, and then he deals with it after the fact. It's just, but the other thing about it too is what I love is the way some of these cartoons are drawn. I do not like anime. I don't like the way it's drawn myself
Yeah,
because
right.
I'm used to, of course, to Warner
Yeah,
Brothers, Bugs Bunny, and so forth.
right. Yeah,
But the other part of it that I really enjoy, especially when I see interviews with the actors who are the character voices, because it's something that I have always wanted to do. Matter of fact, one of my very first characters I came up with was when I was working, believe it or not, for a Christian radio station. And there was an advertiser on the station that wanted to have me write up some commercials for them. And it was a sort of a health food store. Back then, that's what they called them, health food
yeah.
stores. And I came up with the character. I even came up with like what you talked about before, the first step in terms of the mind mapping, sort of a backstory. 146-year-old grumpy old man, married 120 years, wife's passed. Elmo P. Scrunk. And he kind of talked like this, and really enjoyed, going into that store and getting that freshly sliced bread. I just loved it. And I love doing accents. This is a wonderful thing for us to talk to Henry Quense about his book, Character Revolt. And we don't even need any handguns for this revolt.
Nope.
Love the ability of these people doing Audible, for example. And I'm just curious if any of your books are in Audible or if they're formatted in that fashion to be suitable for Audible.
One of them is.
But to be able to do one, I did one for a gentleman. The book is called Breakfast Ball, and there were multitude of characters, and it wasn't necessarily coming up with the voice; it was remembering which voice went which character.
Yes, that can be tough. I'm sure it is.
But it is so much fun.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any of your books put into Audible?
One, the Falstaff's Big Gamble was made into an audio book. It was expensive, didn't really sell, so I didn't explore it with any other books.
Hmm. Well, maybe we can chat. I mean, I love doing it. A matter of fact, I didn't voice any of it, but I produced an audiobook that's available on Amazon called Ghost Girl in Car Number 9. It's a children's book. The author actually flew in from Washington State, and we spent two-hour sessions in one day having her record the voice track. And then I went back and edited it, cleaned it all up, added a little bit of transitional music between the chapters, sound effects, not all of them, but some of the sound effects within the context. And I have to tell you, it nearly brought me to tears when I put the CD into the CD player in the car and I started listening to it because, number one, I was in awe, humbly in awe of what I had just created. It's like, wow, did I do that? And also, it was like, wow, that sounds so. It's like grandma reading to the kids, the grandkids. That is such a wonderful thing. Do you listen to audibles at all or recorded
No,
books?
no,
No,
it doesn't do anything for me. I'm a reader,
you got
not
to
a
read,
listener. Yeah,
right?
I read constantly, but no, I don't listen to audiobooks.
If I could ask a sort of I guess you could call it a personal question of sorts, because we deal with a lot of the spiritual or metaphysical concepts that we deal with. I refer to them as philosophies, and I'm
Mhm.
curious as to your philosophy, what you were born and raised into, and where you are today.
I don't really know how to answer that. I don't think I'd have to think about what my philosophy is. I don't think I don't have anything that I specifically want to, try and do.
Mm-hmm.
I just live my life. Don't hurt anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hurt anybody. Have fun as much as you can.
You ever
That's
spend
about it.
time? Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Do you ever spend time accessing, shall we say, that still small voice or your intuition or that gut feeling kind of thing?
No, I don't think I do. No.
No, you just
Well, I
living
did
your
once,
life and off you go.
Well, yeah, no, I did once when I decided I was going to be a writer, and then I took an early retirement to become a writer. Uh, I just went with it. I wanted to be a writer. The time came, so I took the money and ran.
It's a good thing to do sometimes.
Yes, yes, it is.
Absolutely. And your kids, your kids and grandkids, as
Yeah,
you say you have, um, they enjoy the work that you've put out.
they never read it.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh my
I've tried.
heavens.
I can't convince any of them to read the damn things.
Oh. Well,
Maybe they will someday, but they're typical. They're always on their iPhones. That they
yeah.
watch videos. They don't do much reading.
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's to me it's for the time being their loss, but I have a feeling one day,
yeah.
yeah, they will definitely read what you've written, and I hope that many people will go to your website, which again is hankquenseauthor.com.org. It's .org,
It's not
ladies.
.org.
Oh,
.com is an old one.
that's an old one. So again,
Yeah,
Hank Quense, that's HankQuense author.org. Okay.
.org.
HankQuense.org, author.org. And we will be linked to that website so that folks can click on it when they're listening to the podcast and so forth. And hope that they will also maybe even go to YouTube to watch the conversation we're having. And I'm going, if with your permission, to take some of the cover pictures, and I'm going to
Yes.
have them flashed up between the two of us in the video, so
Uh,
that people can see at least the cover of your work, if that's okay with you.
that's okay with me.
All right, we'll
Everyone you
do that.
flash up there is a main character in the book.
Yep. Well, I will. That will be the book cover I will start with. Is
Okay.
Character
Yeah.
Revolt, which is the
Yes.
main story we're talking about here on Tell Me Your Story. Reverend Dr. D, along with Hank Quense. And Hank, this has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this, and
I
I
have
hope
too.
that you
Yeah.
continue to be prolific,
Thank you.
you know, and put out some fun stuff for all of us to read. Because again, as we've said before, laughter, man, we need it all the time, not just now
Yeah.
more than ever, but all the time.
Yeah. It's crucial now.
Yeah, yeah. But and I believe, I'm optimistic. I believe we will survive. Okay, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I think we can get over it.
Yeah. I also know this because my brother, who happens to live, and he's the one that told me this, he lives in Vietnam. Vietnam's a communist country. And yet he believes and has stated in so many words that America, the United States, is the greatest country in the world. And I sit there going, well, then why are you over there? Well, it turns out he has a wife and a child now. That's why he
Mhm.
lives there.
Well,
So
that
that's
explains
reason
it.
enough. That is
Yes.
reason enough.
Yeah.
And I wish him all the best, but we'll be okay over here.
No,
We
I
will.
think so.
Yeah. I want to ask you three final questions. I've asked you before, but sometimes the answers change, sometimes they don't. But I love to do this, and that is ask you these three questions. I will in a moment, but first I want to thank you for listening to and watching. Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World, where we're giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. We're here on Sundays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., Monday mornings at 1 a.m., Wednesdays at 9 a.m., and Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m., streaming live at those times at richarddugan.com. We are also on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, Blueberry, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We are on YouTube where you can watch these conversations. We hope you'll click subscribe and notification. And we also hope that if you can help us out financially, we would be most appreciative. We would ask that you could use PayPal or Zella. Zella would just require you to put in my email address, richard@richarddugan.com. We also hope that you will take some time during this decade of perfect vision to go within and listen to and follow the promptings of that still small voice. With all of that being said, we hope that you will stay with us as we have our special guest answer these final three questions. And the first of those is, who is Hank Quense?
Who is Hank Quense? Just an old fart trying to survive.
All right. What gets you up in the morning?
Usually my dog is poking me around 6:30. Where is he? He's around here. Something starts poking me. It's time to get up.
Feed me. Take me for a walk. I got to go. I
Yeah,
gotta go.
yeah. Take me out. I gotta pee.
All right. And the final question is, what was your best day?
It's the same as I answered once before, the day I got married.
Ah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Henry, thank you again. This is I love to laugh, and I love to laugh with you. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your humor and yourself with us here on the program.
And thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. And I want you to know you're welcome back anytime.
Okay.
All
We'll
right.
be in
Many
touch.
blessings to you.
Okay.
And thank you folks for listening to and watching Tell Me Your Story. And until our next broadcast, love to Lal. Jeanette, I'm still listening. Dad, continue to be happy because I am. Smokey, I will see you on the other side. Mike, thanks for being in my life and letting me be in yours. To my dear brother, Michael, congratulations and welcome to fatherhood. And to my dear friend, Zorro, aho, aho.